Welcome to another episode of Community Closeups, a video series highlighting the unique and talented individuals in our community. David, it's been a long time. How are you?
I'm doing well, Bo. It's been some time, but we're going to start doing this more regularly, so I look forward to that. We're moving into the second half of the year. Today's July 1st, renewal day for a lot of MVPs, so congratulations to you. Very well deserved.
Thank you. It's yeah, it was nice.
Yep, a lot of good friends in the community. It's an amazing community, so I love this community. And speaking of the community, our guest today is Simon Agren. Ågren, some sort of green, right? He is also an office development MVP from Sweden, good friend of Bo and mine. So, Simon, thanks for making time to meet with us today.
No props. Thanks for having me. So it's cool. We finally did it. Yay!
Yes, this has been in the works for a while, so we're glad to get him on as our guest. So, why don't we start out by you telling us a little bit about yourself? You're from Sweden, but fill us in on who Simon is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and as you told us, I'm an Office Dev MVP and working as a solution architect and a developer. I have a developer background. Been working like 5 years with SharePoint, and I work for a company called Sogeti. I don't know if you have heard of it. It's a part of Capgemini, so we're quite a few people all over the globe. So yeah, and I don't know. I just sit around here in northern Sweden. We've never, you can see the sun out. It's like it's 11:30, something like that. So
11:30 p.m.
yeah, PM, not AM.
Yeah,
So
big difference when it's that light out.
yeah, we don't say AM, PM. We just talk like now it's 23 and 42 or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, military time.
Yep.
All right, so you got a couple kids, right?
Got two of them, two boys, Sam and Philip. They are like soon 5 and soon 3. So they are amazing, but they require some time and they require some patience right now.
And sometimes that balance shifts, right? Sometimes you need more
Yep.
patience than you have time.
And,
I have two kids. I know that.
and you're soon going on vacation with them, right?
Yeah. But I'm actually bringing my parents as well. So
Oh, you got some babysitters.
yep. Yeah, we go
Do they
in.
supply the patience and you supply the time? Is that how that one goes?
I don't know. I think we need to like mix it up, and I don't know. At least they're there and they could help me out. And we're going to their place. My mom and daddy have a place in Spain. I've been a couple of times with my dad, just playing golf and relaxing. But now we're going. I'm bringing the boys, and it's also my mom and dad. So it's cool. They have a nice apartment there, and they have like a pool and everything over there. So it's quite good. Yeah.
Awesome. And you get one of those nice European vacations. So how long are you going
Yeah.
for?
I mean, this may sound surreal to you, but it's not that much. It's 4 weeks
Yeah.
in a row,
In a
like,
row. Yeah.
or whatever it's called in a sequence. So yeah, I know it's kind of like frowned upon in the US, right? To
Yeah,
take
Yeah,
like
it depends. Usually, it's not
depends.
typical.
Yeah, it's not typical.
is it more common to like spread it out to have 1 week here and 1 week there, or a few days here?
If
Yeah,
you
I'd say
get 4 week vacation, you're doing
I don't
well.
want to get you in trouble now. I'm just asking.
I think the 4 weeks of vacation is usually called unemployment in the States. That's when you find that much time consecutively where you're not working.
I did a 3 week vacation to New Zealand a couple years ago, and I felt like that was really long. Like I missed the rest of my life, like what was going on. And sadly, after 3 weeks, I kind of missed work.
You missed
It's
the
so bad.
forums, didn't you? You're like, I need to help someone. Oh.
Well, I think sometimes for me, it's like we'll take a week vacation, but I'm like 4 or 5 days into the vacation before I even feel like I'm on vacation, and then
Yeah.
it ends. But you do get into that weird state where you're like, okay, I'm kind of done now. I need to go back to work, and I need to do some of this other stuff that I do all the time.
So do you have golfing plans in Spain? We know that you are a big golfer.
We'll see about that. I actually like a acquaintance of me. He said, "So you're going to Spain? I'm also going to be in Spain. So could we like go play some golf?" And I said, maybe. We'll see. Might be able. I do have my old set of clubs over there, so it's possible.
I'm
So
going to say you're big into golfing if you have multiple sets spread over multiple countries.
yeah, I also have different sets of golf clubs depending on which outfit I'm gonna use. Right? Nah, I'm just kidding.
It's like me with shoes, but
they did their time. I had them for like 18 years or so it was time to move on to the next one. So I brought them to Spain so they could just chill there.
So you just mentioned 18 years. Is that how long you've been golfing? Because you just played, I think, last week, and you mentioned that you were 3 under par, which is impressive.
That's my best round ever, actually. But I don't know what happened. So yeah.
Just playing out of your mind. How long have you been playing? Like, how did you get started golfing?
Yeah, I got started. I had a friend who started playing when he was like 7 or something like that, and then my dad, he told me, okay, so you want to do this together? So I think when I was 10, I started playing, and that's 23 years now. That's a lot of time. I don't know why I'm not on the PGA tour. What's up with that?
You're on the Microsoft tour now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So did you and your dad play a lot together, or was that kind of like your bonding thing?
Yeah, I think he invested a lot of time in kind of like playing with me, but then after a few years, he more, how do you say, he took me to my competitions somewhere, whatever.
Okay.
I used to be better. I used to have like a 3 handicap, and now I have 8 handicap, something like that. So it's really, I could go 3 under par like I did. I could do 15 over par. I'm not, how to say, I don't play a lot. I want to play more.
It's because you work too much and you have kids. And so, speaking of your kids, we asked you, what's the best way to start your day? And you just said, having coffee with your kids on the sofa. But now that I know that it's daytime all the time, does that answer change?
I don't know. Maybe during the summer, it's still, I really enjoy my morning coffee. I usually try to get up. I don't get up as early as David might sometimes, like 4 a.m. but still like 6 a.m., something like that. And I just try to, if it's in the summer, because we have a small window of opportunity here where I live in northern Sweden. So maybe just head out and sit on the patio or whatever it's called in English. So, but then I wake up my kids, and I think it's a good feeling in the morning. That's the best way to start it. And then go to work and have 5 more coffees within like an hour or so. So yeah. That's probably it.
Simon, you said your favorite food is a really well-made burger at one of those hipster burger places. So please tell us, what is a hipster burger place?
I don't know. That was my kind of like lost in translation way of trying to tell you that it's not just like McDonald's or whatever. But okay, it could be tasty, but more like this, really good beef, and it's made with with love, and I don't know.
We call them gastropubs here.
Okay, yeah, not super fancy, but we got a place here that they actually opened the flagship store here. Now they already have, I think they have in New York, and they might have something in LA. It might be not that famous, but it's called Bastard Burgers. It's from north here in Sweden. So I don't know. You got a lot of those, I guess. But yeah.
Do we?
We got one.
We have burger places in the U.S.
I think you have. Yeah, you
Just a
know,
couple.
they have this small beverages, right?
Yeah.
Do you
32-ounce smalls.
Do you have really specific US stuff that you eat during the weeks? Or do you just go by feel, or do you have like stock stuff you eat?
Well, Taco Tuesday,
Taco Tuesday, of course.
Wine Down Wednesday. So you just drink wine Wednesdays. You just skip dinner.
Did you say wind down Wednesday or wine Wednesday?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Flashback Friday, so then we just eat tacos again on Tuesday. The flashback.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the U.S. is such an amalgamation of cultures that
yeah.
in a given week, I always order out food, so I'll get Indian food, some Vietnamese food,
Yeah.
and I'll always do like Buffalo Wild Wings once in a while when I'm craving a hot sauce or something. But
Very mood based, I think. It's just the weather can affect you and all kinds of stuff.
do I want to cook today? No. All right, I'll just order something in.
DoorDash.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's more expensive to like eat out in general, even on the fast food places here in Sweden. But I mean, there's no props if I would wanna, but I don't know. I'm quite good at cooking, quite good at doing the cooking, at least.
So, is IKEA as big of a thing in Sweden as it is here in the US? Because my entire house is just packed with IKEA furniture.
Yeah, I kind of like grew up with my parents. They hated IKEA. They didn't hate IKEA, but it was like they used it like, yeah, those people that buys IKEA furniture. Now I realized they were quite snobby, weren't they?
All right, so we always ask every person what their favorite car is, and you said you have no idea because you don't know anything about cars, but you picked out a really nice car. So you said an Audi RS4. Is that because you've owned a Audi before? Do you own? What do you drive?
I like Audi, and I thought that the compromise when I can like fit in my golf clubs and it's Avant. I have room for the kids and still allowed to drive with. You know,
Sure.
It has some horses. Horses.
It does have some horses.
More than Chris Kent.
You could battle his warrior horses with your Audi at that point.
Yep.
So you don't know anything about cars, you mentioned, but you as Bo mentioned, it did pick out a $152,000 US based dollar car.
Yep.
That's not too bad a choice.
Yep. I think because I'm not like, oh, I want a Porsche. Maybe I want a Porsche. I don't know, but not right now. I could have some fun but still be functional. So yeah, it's a good compromise, I'd say.
So you say you like playing video games. If it's with the kids, it's Mario Kart or Donkey Kong. Is there a Simon preferred game though? Like when the kids aren't awake or around, this is your go-to game?
I'm gonna do some humble bragging here now, but I used to play Counter-Strike back in 1.6 in like semi-elite, elite level here in Sweden before they started to making money. And a lot of my old teammates, they play now, in these majors, these tournaments and whatever. But I also had a run. I was like, okay, now I'm gonna stop all of these team-based games because I don't have time, and you need to match up with the other people playing as well. So I started playing StarCraft 2. That has been my go-to game. And as always, I'm like, okay, now I'm just gonna stick here in Bronze League. Then I played some more, and then I played some more, and then I played some more, and then I became Grandmaster once, so it's top 200 on the server. And then I was like, you need to stop playing this game.
So when your esports failed, you turned to the only place that made sense, which was SharePoint. How did you get into SharePoint?
I think it was actually because I haven't been in IT that long. About 5.5, 6 years ago, I got how you say, draft, or I got an okay to start at the Soggetti, like a trainee program. And then there was the BI track, and then it was SharePoint track, and I have never heard about SharePoint. And I was supposed to go to BI track, but then they suddenly changed it, and I was like, okay, sure. Then we were like 20 people in a classroom, like classroom sessions, and there walks in, it was like Erwin van Hunen, who comes in and is like, so I'm gonna teach you SharePoint. How many years experience do you have? What? So he was trying to teach us the 2013 version, like, okay, learn the basics of SharePoint in 4 days. I think it was 3.5 days or something like that. So you could see his sweat starting to run down his face, and yeah, but we made it out. And later I started to realize that he was actually a big thing. So it was cool to have him as my first introduction to SharePoint.
Yeah, I think we all probably have similar stories of who our first person was.
Okay.
SharePoint. I years ago did there was a training company, Critical Path, and I did a training with Andrew Connell in like 2010, and that's when I was like, yeah, I guess I could do SharePoint. It was a great course, and I kind of just stuck with it since then. But he was my first introduction to SharePoint. David, do you have any?
First, Dave?
Who was your first, Dave?
Mine was much less glamorous. It was just, oh, here's a SharePoint server. You need to start working with it and own it and do it. And so from there, it was, I guess, everybody. I just looked up everything I could online and tried to learn more about it, and was just thrown into the deep end of the pool. So I don't know that I had any like individual person that helped train me. It was more of it takes a village to train this guy. What made you step it up from just being a SharePoint user, power user, maybe internal developer, to wanting to get more involved in the community?
I don't quite remember what like tipped the scale, but I do remember that even from the beginning, when I was really super junior, when I learned something that was really cool or something new, I kind of felt like I wanted to share it with everybody. And they were like, yeah, Simon, we know what a class is. Stop bothering us. We know what an object is. Yeah, and so on. But so I kind of always had this drive I want people around me to know stuff that could be beneficial for them. I think that's the main drive. And seeing a lot of people, I saw all of these MVPs, and I felt that these are people that you can count on, and these are the top of the line people, or whatever. I don't know. They have knowledge and everything. So I was like, okay, maybe that's cool. I wanna get more involved. I wanna help others, and it's also cool to be an MVP. So that was always far away in the horizon, not the main thing, but and then I just started to realize how I could help, because that was the hardest part from the beginning. Okay, where do I start? So I think I did an SPFX web part, or an app, or an how do you say, extension. I did an extension, and it ended up in the GitHub repository, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not so dangerous to do this. So that small gesture from Vesa, and it was like, okay, we could put it in here. And I was like, yeah, on top of the world, let's do this.
Yeah,
that's why it's so important, the initiatives right now, and has been for like a year or so, that I've seen that, how could we get more people involved? It's really been a focus on that, I'd say.
So we're midway through summer, which means the second round of conference season's coming up this fall. I know you said that you don't speak a lot at conferences, but do you have any coming up you're going to speak at, or any conferences you are going to?
Yeah, I went like here in May, I went as an attendee to the European SharePoint Collaboration Summit. Sorry, yeah, it was awesome. It was a really cool event. But I do have SPS Stockholm in September, and then we have SPS Helsinki as well. It's really good. It's kind of close by. I could, as I told you earlier, I could ride a plane to Stockholm, and also from my home city. For once, I can ride abroad as well to Helsinki. I don't have to go to Stockholm first, so it's awesome. It's convenient, at least.
And are you speaking at both of those events?
Yeah.
What are you speaking on?
I'm doing some inspirational from your session actually a while ago. You know, some sort of augmented real-time provisioning. Haven't really decided if I want to go with the SPFX version or if I'm doing a TeamSpot, because I've also, how do you say, elaborated some with TeamSpot and having proactive messages like using socket IO when you do some of the provisioning, some of the different provisioning, and then sending messages to the bot that is actually displayed in the conversation you have with the bot. So like, okay, now I'm provisioning the lists and whatever. It's the same mechanism that you used earlier. And I'm trying to not create the best possible solution, kind of more like, I always do, try to show you how to incorporate different things and combine different set of technologies or techniques, and then you could build yourself on it, more like that, I'd say.
Awesome, very cool.
So Simon, you doing some speaking now, obviously we just talked about that. Do you have any advice for those who are wanting to get more involved in the community, maybe do want to speak but are a little nervous about getting outside of that comfort zone? What kind of inspired you to get started, and how did you find it easy to start getting more comfortable?
I think for me it's not about being comfortable. I don't know how inspiring that is to hear, but I kind of made a promise to myself in the beginning of this year, or in the end of last year, that I was gonna challenge myself more, put myself in more, how do you say, more difficult situations, and kind of like spread my wings and try it out at least. So I said, okay, I'm gonna try to get one session at least, somewhere, somehow, and build from there. And I kind of liked it. It's not perfect, but you could work on it. You could just try to be yourself. It doesn't matter, and I think that SPS events, SharePoint Saturdays, are really good for that, because it's the same atmosphere that we referred to earlier. That's really, how do you say, encouraging, and people are the other speakers as well. It's really fun. You go out and have beers with each other and eat together. It's more like a family feeling. Of course, you're nervous when you're gonna talk, but I think it's good to challenge yourself. And I mean, other than that, just try to prepare yourself and try to practice if you are nervous. And the same cliche that people tell you all the time, embrace the nervousness. You're never not going to be nervous. That was double negation, I think. You're always going to be nervous, but embrace it and work with it, and it's fine that you're nervous.
I think it's so surprising too. So we've known you for some time now, but we first officially met in person at the summit, I think, in March.
Yeah.
And when I first met you, you were a completely different person. Your personality was way different than what I had felt or had expected via being online with you. You are the most outgoing person I have ever met. And it's hard to even, you have conversations in like groups, and it's hard to get anything in because Simon's just standing there talking and talking. So I find it very interesting that you have a very outgoing personality, right? But everyone gets nervous to speak in front of others, right? It's just, everyone will always be nervous, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. With every episode, we always end with some of the similar questions, but the the one question I always ask is if someone was to meet you at a conference, because you will be speaking in SharePoint Saturday events, if someone sees you there at a SharePoint after or during your talk, what type of topics would be great icebreakers to just engage in conversation with you?
Old European history. Just kidding.
We know golf. We know golf. It doesn't hurt if someone brings you a gin and tonic. We know that you like gin and tonic. So number one, have a gin and tonic handy. Number two, golf is always a good backup.
Hendrick's gin, though. Hendrick's gin, okay?
Hendrick's only.
Yep.
So what are some topics that would be great icebreakers if someone were to come up to you at a conference?
I think it's hard to answer because for me it doesn't really matter. I'm quite interested in people in general, I'd say, and mostly in a good mood. So you could just come and say hi, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, you will do all the talking. So.
I guess if you could be driving a $150,000 car, pick him up in a $150,000 car that he knows nothing about. That'll.
All right,
well,
cool.
other than that, I don't know. I have to talk about the HBO series. Talk about no spoilers though, but Netflix, gaming, SharePoint. At least I'm gonna be able to answer like 2 out of 10 questions about SharePoint or so.
Hopefully, you'll be able to answer questions on your topic that you presented.
Yeah, hopefully.
So Simon, thanks for taking time out of your evening, despite the fact that it looks like it's completely daylight outside behind you, and spending some time with us and letting people know in the community a little bit about yourself.
No problems. It was really, really, really great that we could do this, that we were able to do it.